Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Some news out of Saints camp earlier today. Nick Underhill, NewOrleans.football, first report of the news. Tyrann Mathieu has agreed to a contract extension with the New Orleans Saints. Going to lower his salary cap hit in 2024 from $12 million down to about $5.5, but they're going to add another year onto the back end of it for the New Orleans native. So now he'll be a free agent in 2026. He could opt to continue his career at that point or decide that at 33, that's enough. And feels like we're getting close to that point with Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann, if not an elite level defender, has certainly been a dependable defender for the New Orleans Saints. He played 100% of the defensive snaps in 2022 and 99% of them last year. He's had 7 interceptions, 7 passes defense, forced a fumble recovery, 166 tackles, all that through 2 seasons. As disastrous as the Marcus May pickup was, Tyrann has been dependable. I would suggest in watching the Saints this year that Tyrann has lost a step. But what you get with Tyrann at this point is a guy who's available, a guy who understands how to play. He's in the right place. He's a phenomenal guy in the locker room and wants to be there. And while, yes, he would fit into the category of aging defenders with Demario Davis and with Cam Jordan. It's a couple guys that are getting up there in age. He does bring some positives. And so I think this is probably a bit much for me to expect him to play this year and another year at a high level. That seems to me to be unlikely, but I'm not going to absolutely dump cold water on it because there's a chance. If he plays at the level he played at this year for 2 more years, it's a good deal. I just feel like we're getting to the point where that's maybe not going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I will say this about Tyrann. This is certainly a unique journey. I cannot give you a star athlete in the state of Louisiana who has had this kind of career arc. To unheralded recruit that nobody really cared about in his signing class, to immediate impact player as a freshman, to absolute superstar face of college football as a sophomore, to kicked off the team and out of football like that, doubted whether or not he could be mature enough to handle professional football, goes out to Arizona, where Patrick Peterson is, ends up in Kansas City, Super Bowl champion, all-pro defender, and then in the twilight of his career comes back home where he's beloved and performs at a solid level. I cannot recall a fall from grace that was recovered from so graciously and fantastically over the course of now better than a decade as this. And it's been really awesome to watch. I was in the room when Les Miles walked out to the podium. We did not know why we were there. It was the assembled media. Did not know why we were called in there in 2012. And he said, Tyrann Mathieu is no longer with the football team. And I was in the kind of the top right of the room when Les said I can still see it like it was yesterday. It was 12 years ago. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, this is a guy who did things on a football field I had never seen done before. And I'm not being hyperbolic. I had never seen a defensive player routinely take the ball away from offensive players the way Tyrann Mathieu did. Not like, that one play where he did it. The Meacham play up in Washington where they did it one time. No, Tyrann did it all the time. Running punts back, rescuing the SEC championship game. Just an absolute sensation that took over LSU football. And then to fall from grace like that and to work his way back to be the humanitarian that he is now, the leader that he is now, the vocal voice that he is now in the media, the model citizen he's become, It's been a phenomenal story to watch. And this was a great signing for the Saints at that time. And because I still can see the 2011 Tyrann Mathieu, and now I'm looking at the Tyrann Mathieu 13 years later and going, man, he's just not quite the burst that we once saw. He didn't quite get where he once did. It's not that he's a liability. He's just not the all-pro that he was. So the question is, inevitably, you go from all-pro to serviceable pro, and then you go from serviceable pro to liability. We're not at liability yet, but where is that line? It's probably within the next 2 years. Not definitely, probably. And my hope for the New Orleans Saints is that it's not. I think this is it for Tyrann. I think it's awesome that he's made the living that he has, because it's hard now to go back and put yourself in the shoes that you were in 2012 and 2013, because it was not a certainty that Tyrann Mathieu was going to make it in the NFL, and he became a star. And I'm thrilled that he got a chance to come home and put on the black and gold. I got chills when Tyrann Mathieu and Jarvis Landry last year led that Who Dat chant to start the season. That's two guys from right here in the heart of the state of Louisiana in the South that got a chance to put on that black and gold, and that is a dream come true. And it's been great to watch. All that is so positive. But as I look at it and try to be objective about the deal and the money and the situation the New Orleans Saints are in, I don't necessarily question this year, which is where the contract was, but I kind of question the next year, and this is just the Saints' MO. What do? Well, you just move the money back, move the money back, move the money back. And this is moving the money back, and all of a sudden you've got a Michael Thomas on your roster that can't stay on the field. And you may have a Ryan Ramczyk on your roster who can't get on the field. And you may have a Tyrann Mathieu on your roster that is diminished. But at least he's proven he can stay on the field. He and Demario Davis, though their best football is behind them, or for a length of time, their best football is behind them, they're on the field. You can count on that. And Tyrann will be on the field, it appears, in black and gold for 2 more years. Curious what y'all think about that extension for Tyrann Mathieu. If you like it, or if you're a little nervous about the length of it at this stage in his career. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.